And that was because of pressure. So they didn't just let it go for them. They used the police department.
That's right.
Round up
That's right. Come on.
people who had been freed and put them back on the plantation.
13th Amendment. Talk about it.
Back on the plantations, working the same plantations they had been before.
Yes, sir.
For violations of laws like more than three black people congregated together.
Woo!
Black people could get sent to an indeterminate sentence working back on the plantation if you didn't have a job.
That's
you couldn't
right.
manage your finances. Now, they didn't give you enough money to manage any finances, so they would round you up for that. And many times the plantation owners were made the judges for these cases.
Sounds like Giuliani.
There's a film out about that.
The new Jim Crow.
It's a film that talks about what happened after slavery and the way free black, mostly men, were rounded up and forced to work the mines and work all these kinds of things. So even that convict leasing system didn't end until there was a movement around that. And so each step of the way, when you're asking why are they being like this, is because we haven't forced them to the next part of it yet. We haven't forced them. And so now we have the movement to force them to stop killing people, to force them to stop being the judge and the jury, and to force them to get independent prosecutors, and to force them to be put on trial the same way we do. So the answer is we haven't forced them.
If you know, in the film, Officer Lavodi, the man who killed Mrs. Bias's son, was the only one who spent any time in prison. That was not out of the kindness of anybody's heart. And that's not to say that was justice either, enough justice. However, the only reason why he spent one day behind bars was because there was a movement behind Mrs. Bias. True or not true? Yeah. Okay. A movement that's here in the Bronx.
That's right.
So and you look at it, you say, oh, Giuliani, make no mistake, all of the mayors and all of the police commissioners will always back the cops and their actions. That's not going to change. They're part of the system. They're part of it's a family. You know?
That's
so
right.
Let's be clear about that. It's not, oh, well, that was then and this is now. No.
Uh-oh. The instructor.
Peace.
Peace.
I'm Robert Shep, Universal Zulu Nation. In addition to the workshop that was mentioned, and actually the full name of it is the Anti-Police Terror and Community Control of the NYPD Facilitated Workshop. And that's key because we talk about solutions. And there is a solution. Matter of fact, I think King could talk about the small claims one when I get done. It needs to be initiated. But let me see those hands again. Who's registered to vote? That's good. Okay. We were planning on launching it this September, but in likelihood it'll probably be next year, but we want to at least kick the campaign on. What we're talking about is decentralization, community control, and mandatory residency of the NYPD. Okay. Decentralization, what does that mean? That means that the whole hierarchy system that exists now with NYPD doesn't exist anymore. Because you have community control. In your precinct, where you live at, every cop in that precinct lives in your neighborhood.
Yes, sir.
They have to live there.
Yes, sir.
So they can't work there.
We neighbors now.
So you know who they are, they know who you are, you know their children, they know your children, you know the same schools, they shop the same stores.
Know what they eat.
They don't pay, the money stays in the community.
That's right.
That's community control. You have a board that providing the oversight, making sure that their streets over the halls don't be corruption. No, it won't be corruption because you know where they are. You know what's going on. Okay? The precinct commander is voted into office just like you were voted in the sheriff down south.
Woo!
Okay, or your congressman and so forth. It's not somebody that's transferred around when things don't go well. Okay? You don't need a commissioner anymore. You don't need brass anymore.
No, sir.
Because every community is controlling their own police force. Because it's their police force. This is what we need to do. All you have to do is put a referendum on that ballot box and vote it and have it done.
That's it.
Okay, you have to vote for no person. Let me say, I don't want to vote for these parties. No, you're voting for your community.
Yes, sir.
This is where we want to go. And the movement in the streets now will help promote that. We get the lawyers to draft the legislation so we can defeat the PBA, which is going to be the main opponent to that, to that police union. We destroy, they will be destroyed once you decentralize. There won't be no police union anymore. Okay?
That's right, start
Here we
clapping.
go. Okay, decentralization,
Man, you need to hold this camera.
mandatory
Start clapping,
residency,
brother.
and community control of NYPD. It can be done if we come together and we do it. Please. Oh, my question. Tammy, this film was finished in what, 99?
No, 2004.
Okay, but it's about 99. It seems like most of the stuff was in it. All the demonstrations we saw in that film and everything that took place there, what happened? The same thing's going on. That film is old, but it's still relevant. Are you going to do another film?
I don't know if I'm going to do another film. That's a big question. I've done a lot of films since then, but I think what happened was we really saw a movement. Iris, myself, there was something really powerful going on. And then 2011, 2001, World Trade Center, the whole thing that happened after that, there was a psychological shift in the country, and not just in white communities, it was all over, in all communities, where people had to feel safe. And by being involved around police brutality, it kind of was really a conflict, and it was like a collective anxiety in this country after 9/11. And we saw immediately this need to have a kind of police love fest, to feel secure. And in a certain way, that's why we held the film back. We decided not to release it actually in 2002 because the climate in the country was such. We waited until 2004 to have a little space so the backlash wouldn't be so severe. There was real collective anxiety after 9/11, and as a result, the movement that we saw in Washington, D.C., we were in Chicago, we were all over the country, and that came to a grinding halt. And now it's getting the wheels are turning now, and it's a real fabulous moment because there's a lot of possibility.
Well, like she said, she has a paper there to sign. I hope all of you sign it, so the governor can do what he has to do. The parents, a group of parents are going up to Albany to make sure that he does the right thing. We're going, well, right now we're being divided because we have to go to Baltimore, we gotta go to Washington, and we gotta go to Albany. So we're being divided too, into little groups. So I hope that all of you support the parents, support what they're doing, so we can help you understand what's going on, because even the parents right now don't understand. They see all the evidence, and yet they throw out the cases. You know, and in my case, they say I got justice, but I had 4 children that night out there. Only one of them died. But what happened to the other 3? Right now I have one that he sweats when he sleeps because he can feel the cold, the gun on his head from that day. And that's happened 20 years ago. Okay? The other one, is always looking at the back to see that the cop don't stop him. He makes sure the car's the registration or the paperwork is there to go out in the car, but he don't want the cop to stop him, and he doesn't have none of the papers. He don't want to go back to jail. So these are little things that, where's the justice? Where were the cops that were there that night who didn't give my son CPR? Where are the other cops that were there? How come they didn't get charged? They were there. They saw everything. They were participation in their part. What happened to them? Nothing. You know, so though I'd say I fell asleep, but they called me sleeping because I should have asked for the other ones and I didn't. So that's my fault. But now now I know what happened.
We know
So
better.
now I'm advising all the mothers, make sure we get all of them.
That's right.
In there.
That's right. Go ahead.
Well, it's about that time. We'll take one more question and then we're gonna wrap it up.
Peace.
Peace.
My name is Tariq. As you know, I am a Black Panther. I wanted to just say to all of you, you are doing a very intelligent thing by being here tonight and investigating the matter of police brutality. So you want to know that you are intelligent. You also want to know that you have done a very courageous thing by being here tonight. Your being here tonight is in the wake of, is following the killing of the people talked about on the film. So you don't really know it, but it takes a lot of courage for you to be here tonight. So I just want to acknowledge that you are courageous people, because one of the reasons why killings are taking place is to dissuade you from complaining about what the 1% is doing.
That's right.
So you being here is a very important matter, and it is indicative of you being courageous.
That's right.
And the authorities do not appreciate seeing you here, so I can tell you that. Now, the 1% in operating the system of capitalism, they know that there are going to be problems. They know that they have a percentage of their officers who are mentally challenged persons, so they're going to create problems. They also know that they're going to be problems because we are going to complain about living in this system. We have to live in poverty while they make money off of us. So we live in very bad conditions. And as you know, people are complaining about the $15 an hour thing because they are working and they are actually wage slaves.
That's right.
They get no wage, but really they are slaves.
That's
they
right.
don't even make enough money to buy food, so that they have to get food stamps.
That's
so then
right.
You really are just a slave.
Talk about
That's
it.
what's going on. And so the 1% know that we're going to complain about that. And so they have police, as I said, a percentage of them are mentally challenged persons, and those people are at the beck and call of the 1% to deal with us when we complain. So also, one of the reasons why killings are occurring is because the 1% is subjecting you, 16 to 24-year-olds, to a training process.
That's
they
right.
mean to implant fear in you, and they mean to train you to yield to the authorities or either run away from the authority. So these are some of the things that's going on. But basically, I want to leave you with this. You are intelligent. So you want to know that as you go into the future, and you want to know that you are very courageous as we go into the future. For you to know that is very, very important. Thank you very much.
One thing, I want to give you the name of the film that King referred to. It was first a book, and now I think you might be able to get it on YouTube. It's called Slavery by Another Name.
That's right.
There you go.
And I said, I've seen it on YouTube.